All right. So, like I predicted at the end of the video, my halftime Browns get blown out by the Patriots. Can't say I didn't call it. But, real quick, I have to make an announcement. Me, Dylan, the pissed off Ohioan, I am officially on the fire Kevin Stefanski train. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. The fact that we have one of the worst offenses in the NFL again, and we had Mike Vrabel on our team last year who just destroyed us and has a 1 or 2 loss team in his first year at New England, and it's just it's so bad. I'm done. I'm just done. Kevin Stefanski needs to go. Andrew Berry probably needs to stay. Honestly, I would be fine with Andrew Berry staying just because, and he's living off of this right now. The draft class that he just brought in. I was a big proponent of let Kevin develop these guys. Kevin can't develop any of these guys though. He's proven that now. So, I think there's his play calling, and especially in the second half when you're not in your scripted drives anymore, it's bad. It's bad. So, see, and even like at the Browns postgame show on the radio, I'm gonna probably listen to after I'm done with this. In Myles Garrett's press conference, I'm calling it right now. He's gonna call out the offense, and I know last time he did that against the Steelers, everyone was pointing out how wrong he was for doing that. Well, let's add some context into that. When he did that, he also didn't do anything on defense against the Steelers in that game, but when you're Myles Garrett, the best player on this team right now, gets not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 sacks in this game. I mean, it might have been 4.5, but let's be honest here. 5 sacks, a franchise record. He broke his own record today in sacks. And guess, as of today, can't get any worse. The Jets just beat the Bengals, so we can't even look forward to maybe the Jets have a winless season and go 0-17. So to break our record, so there goes that this year. You always want, as a Browns fan, I always kind of want that record to be broken just so it's not 20 years before someone else does it. But Flacco and the Bengals just lost to the Jets, so that's awesome. Great. And, we're coming off the bye week, and we're playing the Jets, and that's our next game is against the Jets after the bye week. Another thing, Dylan Gabriel needs to be benched. Shitter Sanders needs to be in there, and this is the perfect time to do it. Right off of the coming of the bye, you get Sanders, you have him have not 1 but 2 weeks of preparation for the Jets, who aren't even that good. It might be at home, it might be on the road. I think it actually is on the road. But, you have that to look forward to. The Jets, even though they just beat the Bengals right now, they're not a very good team. And the defense should kind of manhandle the offense, kind of like we did with the Dolphins. Our defense is just so good against our offense that they really can't do anything. And their defense will wear out eventually, especially with the Browns coming off of a bye. But this sucks. It does. Myles Garrett, and let's be honest here. When Myles Garrett set the original record was against the Bears in 2021, I think it was. I think it was Justin Fields' first year, and they sacked Justin Fields. I think it was 4.5 times. So, that's ironic, isn't it? So, anyways, it's just. And the fact that, and we blew the Bears out in that game too, by the way. And then the next time Myles Garrett sets the record, it's against the Patriots, and we lose by 20. So just off of that is ridiculous. So Kevin Stefanski needs to go. I don't know who we would even hire to be his replacement, honestly. I think you get a coach and you draft Fernando Mendoza. Right now, I'm saying Fernando Mendoza needs to be the next quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Now, if Sanders comes out and throws for 400 yards a game, then sure, I guess. But I think you need a full factory reset, especially on offense. Defense is fine. I think you still keep Jim Schwartz. I don't know who would get rid of Jim Schwartz right now, especially with the defense and how they've been playing. And they had a rough game today, but that was also because the offense really couldn't do anything. So, it's stuff like that where Kevin Stefanski has shown over and over again, and I was willing to give him a chance. I said, this was me saying this, by the way. I said, give Stefanski one more year, so this year, and then the next year, give him a full year, and see what he does with the rookies that we're getting, because these are still rookies at the end of the day that I'm talking about here, the earliest draft class. So Judkins, the quarterbacks, Schlesinger, all them. So, give them time to develop with Stefanski in his offense, and I'm out of it. I'm done. So, yeah, Stefanski needs to go. You heard it here. And, I've been, especially online with a few other people, I've been defending Stefanski. I've been the one guy that says, well, let's wait for him to develop. I do think the Browns do give him till the end of the year. I don't think they'll fire him at the bye week or anything like that. But, which I think they should. I think they should wait for the end of the year, because we as an organization now have to make this job as, you got to make this not credible, but you want to be able to get a head coach that's actually interested in this job. If we put in an intern head coach and he has a good, he sparks something and, has something like that, kind of like what we did when we fired Hugh Jackson. So we put in, was it Greg Williams, I think his name was? We put him in as the interim head coach, and then at the end of the season, it was either Greg Williams or Freddie Kitchens. We went with Freddie Kitchens. Greg Williams went to, I think New York, maybe. I'm not really sure, to be honest. And failed there, and of course, we all know what happened to Freddie Kitchens, which led to Stefanski. But, I think you make this job as open to everyone as possible. I think you give Stefanski the year, you fire him before the draft, you get a new head coach in, you get the draft, you draft Mendoza for right now. I say draft Mendoza. I still gotta see what Mendoza does throughout the rest of the college football year, but I don't think Sanders is a good enough prospect to sway people away from Fernando Mendoza, if that makes any sense. So I think that this game was the nail in the coffin for Kevin Stefanski as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. I don't think they'll fire him by the end of the bye week into the Jets game. I think they give him the rest of the year, just as a common courtesy. This, at the end of the day, like him or not, this is still the best coach we've had since Bill Belichick. So, you got to give him that, but he needs to go. It's unfortunate. I'm honestly kind of sad, but Deshaun Watson, I blame him for this, to be completely honest. Deshaun Watson closed our Super Bowl window and put a padlock on it, and Stefanski just can't open up that window. Stefanski's just trying to open up the window without unlocking the padlock. So we got to get a new guy to come in and reset everything to a full factory reset. I'm not saying fire the coaches you probably get a new offensive coordinator in there, because I don't really want another coach that's calling their own plays on top of being a head coach. I think, they've proven it, especially in college football, the no head coach in college football, I think for the past decade or so, has won a national championship while being the offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. Ryan Day was the offensive coordinator for a long time and never won a national championship. He gets an offensive coordinator with Chip Kelly that he trusts. They win the national championship. And now we got Brian Hartline in there too. So, that kind of thing. Jimbo Fisher, I think, was a head coach, or not the head coach, was a coordinator for a little bit on top of being a head coach. A&M fired him and gave him the biggest buyout of that time in college football history. Sunbelt Billy Napier was also a coordinator and called the plays for the offense, I think it was, and he just got fired a few weeks ago. Guys like that who always are calling plays for the offense, but also are the head coach, never really work. I really can't think of any NFL examples, but like that's because I kind of follow college football more closely than the NFL. Around the league, that is, like other teams with college football, I follow more closely than other teams in the NFL besides like the Browns. So, little stuff like that. And it just sucks. I'm disappointed. I'm angry. You're not going to catch me raging. The only time you'll really catch me raging is if we lose a close game to the Steelers or if the Steelers blow us out. In the NFL, at least. If Ohio State loses to Michigan, or God forbid if they lose to Penn State next week, then you might catch me raging a little bit. But this kind of stuff I'm used to with the Browns, especially with the Patriots. I even said this in my prediction video. I'm not going to, months ago, I'm not going to predict the Browns to win this game, and the Patriots will probably blow us out. I'm pretty sure I said it'll probably be a blowout. So, I even said that in the halftime. I said, I think even though the Browns are keeping this close right now, they're probably going to blow us out. And they did. So, Gabriel needs to be benched. I think his time is up as a starting quarterback. Give Sanders 2 weeks to get ready for the Jets game. And, kind of tough it out between those two and go back and forth. And if one is great, then one is. If Sanders is great, I don't think Dylan Gabriel will ever be great. But if Sanders shows promise, you keep him. I feel like no matter what Sanders does, as long as he's not proven to be a franchise guy, you draft a quarterback. And I really think it should be Fernando Mendoza right now. But we'll see what he does. But, it's disappointing. So, Browns get a bye week next week. Ohio State plays Penn State in Columbus at noon. Thought it might be a night game, especially since Penn State is not very good. But Big Noon did pick it up. So, it's going to be a noon game. Unfortunate, but... Sorry. So, it is going to be a noon game. Ohio State is ranked 1 in the AP poll. It did come out, I think, probably mid-second quarter. I forgot to talk about it in the halftime. But Ohio State is 1. Indiana is 2. A&M is 3, which is weird. Alabama is 4, and I think Georgia is 5. So, not a lot there. Honestly, I thought Indiana might jump Ohio State, but they didn't. So, what are you going to do? Thought that Ohio State, Penn State would be a night game. Oh, well. It's whatever. We'll see what happens there. Penn State better not beat Ohio State. After the year that they've had, it would be poetic for Penn State to beat Ohio State. But, at the same time, Ohio State let that happen against Michigan last year. I don't know if they do it again. So, we'll see. But, see you then. I don't know. It's disappointing for the Browns. It's a lot for Cleveland. I'm just down about it. So, stay tuned for Ohio State, Penn State. I'll be back then. Till next time, go Dogs.